Well, hello and welcome to a little bit of a flying solo show. My name is Debby Robinson, for those that don't know. I hope you do by now, but for those that don't know, I'm Debby Robinson, and we have got another Craft Your Stars show lined up for you. That's a tongue twister. That's a tongue twister on a Tuesday afternoon, I was going to say then. It's actually Wednesday. It's hump day. I'm hoping I am not here alone. Although I'm here alone in the studio, I do have in my ear our lovely, gorgeous George, who's now in the producer seats, and I've got lovely Sam, who's going to show all the close-ups and everything else as well. On the socials, because I'm literally doing everything by myself today, they've let me loose. I feel like I've gone back about 6 years ago, where we used to do all the shows on our own. We did everything by ourselves. We just had a producer. We were in the room. We'd have our little phones with all the social comments. We used to do all the demos, everything. And I feel like I've just gone back a bit in time, a little bit in time. But I'm happy that you're joining us. Our lovely Jan is on the socials. She's the lady who, whether you're watching via YouTube or Facebook, is the one that you can put any questions that you want to ask in regards to stamping, because that's what we're doing today. We're doing a little bit of stamping. As you've seen throughout the week, we've changed it up a little bit this week for you, where and there you go, get socials with Crafters TV via Facebook, via YouTube. Any questions, get them in, and Jan will fire them through to me, because she's going to help me throughout this show. But yeah, literally, anything you want to know about stamping, because I've already covered up so far. I think we've done scoreboards, we've done ink pads, we've done the Gemini 2. There's been loads of shows throughout the last couple of days, and then this one is all about the stamping. So that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to take you through things like how to prime a stamp. I get asked this all the time. Things like the right tools. So I've got all the tools. As you can see, I've got a plethora of fabulous stamping tools out there as well. I've got a few inks as well, because inks can create different looks. I've got a couple of techniques in terms of just plain old stamping. We've got a little bit of masking for you. We've also got a little stamp kissing technique that I want to share with you as well, which I've not done for quite a long time, and it's a really cool effect. Bit of reverse mirror image stamping as well for you. So although I'm not going to be doing any finished demos or finished cards or anything like that, I'm hoping to cover all techniques, all questions that you might want to ask. Then definitely make sure you get those fired in. And talking of which, I have seen there's a few people already saying hello, so I'm not on my own. Thank you, Jan. So we have got our lovely Diana Harrison, who says, good afternoon, Debbie. Really enjoyed your shows yesterday, and I'm looking forward to this stamping one. Thank you very much. Terry H says, hi all, and lovely Debbie and Jan from Central, I think that's Ohio? I think. What's IOWA? I can never pronounce that. See, I leave all this to Ben. I normally don't have to do this. I leave that to Ben, but we've got nobody helping us today. It's just us. It's just us. Iowa, thank you very much. George is saying in my ear. We've got lovely Lois, says hello, everyone from Ohio. I know that one. Now then, some of these usernames on YouTube, they always throw me. So love to create. Love that. Get that. Love to create. Fabulous name. She says, hello, Debbie, Jan, team all. And M's books are everywhere. What are you doing to me already? Literally 5 minutes into the show, what are you doing to me? Fabulous names. Good morning, Debbie and CTV team. And then we've got Colleen Cowell Passardi. It says, hello again to Debbie. Hello, CTV team. George. She mentioned you there. Crafting divas are here to watch and learn from Debbie. Well, I hope I can impart a little bit of knowledge for you. He's loving it, George. Keep them coming in for him. He's loving that. Rosalind Russell says, good morning, everyone from Maryland. And Laurie Barnett says, hello again. Daisy, our lovely new viewer, who's just been commenting recently, our lovely Daisy Wrench on YouTube. She says, hi, I'm so glad I get to take a very early lunch to catch Debbie's show. I warned my boss that I might be a bit late. Whoops. I like that though. You can do a little bit of watching of socials in between your lunch. I quite like that. And then Evelyn Kiefer, good morning from a rainy Colorado. And Pat, lovely Pat, Tai Chin Demarest on Facebook says, hi, Debbie, Jan, and everyone once again from New Jersey. Hello. So we'll get started, shall we? Now, I've already had one question come through. Yes, masking. wants to learn some tips on that. M's books are everywhere. We will get to that, I absolutely promise you. So coming to stamping, we'll talk about tools in a second, but the main thing that I always get asked is when you've got a brand new stamp, that sometimes, and in fact, let's just strip it back to the beginning. What is stamping? Stamping is an imprint into materials, card, whatever it is that you want to stamp onto any surface. That's what stamping is all about. With the right tools, the right inks, and then lots of different things that you can do. That's what stamping is all about. So that's what we're going to teach you all of that. But the thing that I get asked the most is when I get a new stamp, I put my ink on it, I stamp, and I get like a little bit of a bitty look, a little bit where it's missing. And that's normally down to the fact of when a stamp's being manufactured, sometimes a little bit of residue can be left behind onto the stamp. So for that and that reason alone, we do what we call a little bit of priming. Now, I've heard lots of different ways in how you can prime a stamp. Now, I'm going to pop this onto the rocker block to start with. And, whoops, squeaky, squeaky. You might have to excuse some noises. That's exactly what you get with a stamping rocker block on top of a glass mat. A nice little bit of squeaky going off there. But yes, stamping and priming can be done in many ways. Now, I prime normally with a translucent clear watermark ink pad to give a little bit of a sticky residue to pick up off any residue as well that's lying on that stamp, and then ink over the top of that. I hear things like you could sand back. I personally don't do that because if you sand back, depending on how heavy-handed you are, if you sand it back with a sander or a nail file or something like that, things can happen in terms of you can lift a bit of the pattern off the stamp. So I wouldn't recommend that. So for me, priming a stamp can be done in two ways, where you literally ink up and then just do a few on a scrap bit of paper, just do a few images and keep stamping so that it builds up a little bit of residue with the ink, the natural ink that you're going to put on there. And I'll talk about ink pads as well. Even though it's not an ink pad show, I'll talk about the difference between ink pads when you're using certain mediums to colour with and things like that. But my preferred method, and this is just my opinion, my preferred method is I use translucent clear ink pad, and I literally take a little bit. Now, yours wouldn't look like this. This is the dirty one from next door, and it really is a dirty one from next door, let me just tell you. But just to give it a little bit of a coating with a sticky ink, because this is what translucent clear ink is. It's a sticky ink, but it's a good one for priming your stamp with as well. So I'm going to give that a nice little coverage. And then I rub it in. I give it just a little, take my finger and just rub that into all the nooks and crannies. And then I'm just going to grab a little scrap of cardstock and I'm just going to do a little bit just onto there. Right, and then you can see, you can see the dirty ink pad, can't you? Look at that. What is that like? Now, I'm just going to then take one of my inks, and I'll probably come in with my little stamping mat here, pop that onto, and it can be any of your inks, but I'm just going to pop that down now. And what that does is it kind of gives it a bit of a coating for the ink to cling onto on your very first time that you're stamping with a brand new stamp. And that can apply to things like acrylic stamps, to photopolymer stamps. So there's different types of stamps that are out there. So you've got acrylic, photopolymer, there's grey stamps. I don't know if you remember the old grey stamps, where some can be on wooden blocks. These are just unmounted grey rubber stamps, but they still work as well. So, and they can all still have that residue on there. So it's just a good way to be able to start. And then all you would do is literally just stamp your image. As you can see, I've got a little bit excess there, but I've got a really clean stamped image to start with, where it's a solid image and it's not being broken up because I've primed the stamp correctly. So that's a good way and a good little, let me just grab some tissue. Yep, Debbie did fetch some tissue down here. It's a bit different, you know, when you're on your own. Normally I've got a little bit of time where I can throw over to Ben and I don't have to worry about things like this. I feel like do you know what I feel like? I'm crafting in my craft room with you guys, all alone, on my own. That's what it feels like, apart from the fact that I've got two fellas in me here. That's not normal. That's not normal. Right, so that is how you would prime a stamp, okay? Now, I'm going to have a little quick flick just to make sure I'm not missing out on any comments, because I have got, I've already got some questions coming through. This will be interesting. Like it. Hi, Rebecca Dancer. She says, hello, Debbie, George and Jan. There is Sam. He's going to start to feel a little bit left out if we don't mention him. Sam's the one that's controlling all the close-ups and the overheads. Let's not forget our Sam. And also Daisy said, I feel so cool when Debbie says my name, laugh out loud. You're very welcome, Daisy. You're very welcome. Shazza Maynard on YouTube. Hi, Debbie and the team. Love these Craft Your Stash shows. Reminds us what we have. Hi, Stephen, one of our regulars. Stephen Nichols this afternoon. And I've got a Just Sealy, I think, canned beans on YouTube. Is an eraser a good way to condition prime a brand new stamp? Now, eraser, I'm meaning you're thinking like a rubber eraser. We call them rubbers over here, don't we? And over in the stateside, it's an eraser. You can. I personally don't think that works, but it does pick up some of the residue. But that's just my personal preference. And again, if you've been taught a different way in terms of how to prime a stamp, everybody's all different. There's no right, there's no wrong, but we just can impart some of our knowledge to you. So yeah, you can if you want to try that. I personally have never tried that because I just want to give a good, clear stamp from that first time, which allows me to do that with the translucent ink pad, and that can be any sticky ink pad. Right, tools. Let's talk tools, because you can see I've already used a couple already with the first one. So we're going to talk about all the different implements to be able to get your stamped image. You have a good set of tools out there. Some of you will have got the rocker blocks. So we'll talk about the very original stamping platforms that we do, which are the rocker blocks, and they come in various different sizes. So for terms of sizes, you've got two very large ones, which I've got. In fact, sorry, Sam, because it's not very clear on that map there. Two large stamp platforms that have this curved, can you see the design where it's got a slight curvature to it? It means that in terms of stamping, you can get quite a good contact in terms of how you hold it. And I'll teach you that as well for anybody who's got rocker blocks and always say that they can't use them. I'll teach you how to use them again in a second. But they do come in various different sizes, because obviously stamps come in various different sizes, from your small ones to your long ones, your sentiment ones. So we have the right tools, and I'll just show you how to use them. And we even go down to a very small little diddy one. Look how tiny that is. It's a little diddy one for those little ones that you want to just literally put a couple of little pieces on, little mini one, and then you've got your smaller long one there for your sentiments as well. But I'll show you again how to use it in that ear to toe motion. But before I do, we do have other stamping platforms that I'm going to talk about, which comes in the terms of spring-loaded stamping platforms. Starting off with a 4x4, it's got your grid on there where you've got measurements and you've got your crosshair in the centre as well. And it's the 6x6 and also an 8x8, which comes in two parts, because there is one that's an 8x8 stamping platform on its own, but then there was the introduction of the stamping platform, sorry, I'll just put those over there, with the magnetic base, which means for precision stamping and for anybody that has dexterity problems, this would be the one to use, and I'll show you why. Sorry about that, Claire. There you go. Yours, again, probably, actually, I'm saying they don't look like that, but I bet they do. I bet they do when you get your inks on there. But and then I'll talk about the other stamping platform that we have, which is the stamping platform, and also a stencil one as well, which is 8x8 in size. And we'll talk about that too. But let's go back to that original stamp and show you how you can use your rocker blocks. So get your stamp onto your rocker block. You can put grey unmounted ones onto there. You're just going to need to use something sticky on the back. Now I use stick and spray, which is a repositional spray, but you can use acrylic onto these and also photopolymer ones as well. Now I'm just going to ink that back up. Oh, there's lots of squeaking going off today. Lots of squeaking. Let's just come in and do a little bit of coverage again. Now I know that's already been primed because I used it. Now the thing with the rocker block that I want you to remember, and it's a good little cut because I didn't do it on the first time, but can you see here, Sam, I don't know if you can come in close, because I've got a small stamp, I've popped it onto a small rocker block. However, can you see down here, these are raised, these are two raised sides, okay, to do the heel to toe rocking motion. So sometimes when you're inking, as Debbie has done, I've got a little bit of excess ink, so I've just wiped off down this side and down this side so that I know I've got no extra ink, like you saw me do when I primed the stamp. Did you see the extra ink? it went onto there. Well, we're not going to do that again. Oh no, we're not going to do that again. But what we're going to do is show you that heel to toe rocking motion. So let me just put my ink over there. Now you start off like you would with an eel. When you think about your eel, you put your heel down and you rock forward to the tip of your toes. That's exactly what you do with a rocker block. The rocker block is already curved. You don't have to worry about a thing in the terms of where you hold it. So I hold all four sides and then I put my two fingers in the centre, and that's on all of them regardless of what size. So for a second, I know that ink's not going to dry because it's still wet on there, but dependent on the size, it's the same place that I grab hold of. I grab the sides and then the pressure when I'm rocking forward, my fingers are on the centre so that the centre's not missing out on anything as well. So literally, that heel to toe motion is you start off at that heel, you put down that pressure to first at the rocking point, and then you literally rock forward to lift off to get that perfect stamp every single time. It is a real quick and easy process of, and I'll just show you again, let's just ink that back up. I'll do that wiping again. I've seen the excess on either side. Good job for there. Again, that process is that heel goes down first, and then you and I've got my fingers in that centre again. It rocks forward and it just rocks back, and it is that easy. That's how fabulous a rocker block is, and it's so easy to use. It's simple. You start off and you rock forward, so it's that heel going down, rocking forward onto the tip of your toes, and that's how you use all of your rocker blocks, regardless of which one you're using, which size you're using. So I hope that explained the rocker blocks for you. Now you'll have noticed I've got the stamping mat. Now I find these invaluable for me. It gives a bit of cushion, so it's not a really ultra bendy soft sponge. It's a nice dense foam to give a bit of cushion when you are putting and applying pressure when you're imprinting with your stamps. So regardless of what you pop that on, and I'll put that stamp back down onto this one, onto the spring-loaded legs. Lovely thing about these, obviously the sizes are absolutely fabulous, but they've got spring-loaded legs, which mean, again, you pop it on, and somebody asked me, because they said the other day that they'd put one on, but they hadn't put it on the right way around. Can you see where your legs are sticking up? That's where you're going to put your stamp, if you ever remember that, okay? And then you're just going to, again, just apply your ink, and then literally, let's pop that on. I think I've covered all of that, and I'm not going to try and waste this. I'll try and pop this on here so I can get that on. You're literally just going to place your stamp down onto, and literally the pressure here now is that you need to get your hands over the stamp. So I don't know if we could just do that overhead, Sam, just for a second. In fact, let me grab another sheet of card. I've got plenty. When you're popping that down, you want to just place it down, and this is where the cushion's going to come in. But when you're using your stamping platforms, you're just going to push down, but the pressure goes into where the stamp is, and then I just literally give it a little stamp all the way around so that I've covered all of that stamping area and not moved anything. But then when I've got a precision stamping again. All right, so that gives you that nice precision stamping. The other one that I'll just quickly mention is the stamping platform, because you're probably going to see me using the majority of these throughout the show. The stamping platform has the magnetic base, which means that when you get your cardstock down, and we'll grab another sheet of cardstock. Oh my goodness, I'm already, look at me, I should have cut smaller pieces. But the stamping platform has magnets on to hold your paper into place. Then you can put your stamp down, okay, and then you're going to bring in, now I'm just going to push this down just for a second because there's more legs on this, so you've got a little bit more legs, a little bit more spring-loaded legs. You may find at times those sometimes can pop out, you just push them back in, okay, and then as you can see I've got a little bit of a secondary stamp there, that doesn't matter. And I will talk about cleaning your stamps as well, because it is important about looking after your stamps to get longevity out of them. But then when I put that back down, it's exactly the same where you're going to apply the pressure. So you wouldn't be pushing down here. The chances are that there's going to be some movement. So what you're going to do is exactly the same where you go down over the top of the stamp, push that down, and then you literally apply that pressure over the top. And now, and you think that I did that, I did it on a purpose. I did it on a purpose because you're thinking, looking at that, ooh, there's a little bit missing there. Well, that's the beauty of having a stamping platform. Can you see? I purposely didn't put pressure in down there. There's the ink still on there. So I don't have to re-ink it. If you want to re-ink it, you absolutely can. But what I know now is that when I go back down onto there, I can re-ink and add the pressure to the area that I missed so that when I lift off, I've got me finish nice clean, and that is why a stamping platform with a magnetic base is a fabulous tool, which applies the same basically to the stamping and stencil, because the difference between this to the magnetic is there's less legs and you've got a sticky surface. So that's a really sticky surface which will hold your paper down, and you don't need to use your magnets because that is a sticky, almost like a gel plate that's in there, and only 4 legs this time. So when you are stamping, if you've got card that overhangs, you're not going to get an imprint from the legs that are on these sides. So it's still 8x8, still a base, but it's a sticky base. And the only difference to that is that there is a layering, there's a placement part there for your layering stencils. However, we're not talking stencils today, we're talking stamping. So I think I've covered the majority of the tools that are out there. So what I think I'll do is I'll have a recap, I'll have a little look and see if there's been any more questions coming through. Wipe my fingers up, because guess who's already covered in ink? 20 minutes into the show, that would be me. Yes, that would be me. So let's have a little look. So let me go back. We've answered just Elise. Oh, Christine, hi. Christine Mahoney's in the building. Hello, everyone. Rebecca says, oh, Rebecca's come back to me. Sam, are you ready? Sam, hello. Oh, you've made him happy now, Rebecca, you've made him happy. Trudy Bickham on YouTube says, hi, so Sam, you're getting loads of highs now. Miss Effalump on YouTube, love that name. That username is, oh, it's just fabulous. Hello, wonderful Debbie. I was just wondering if it was at all possible to see a demo with the gilding stamp set. No worries if not. Oh, do you know what? We had one of those on in the 60-minute deals. We'll see if we can get hold of Jake to ask, because there is a stamping pad in there with glue. So I will try and get that covered for you. I have got quite a list though, so I will try and get that covered, and we'll see if we can get Jake on for you. If I don't get it covered in this show, I do know that there is a duo Craft Your Stash show going off tomorrow, and I may ask the lovely lady in question, Lily, if she can cover it if I can't do it in this show. But we'll see if we can get Jake onto that with that lovely stamp kit that we had earlier, which was the gilding. It was the gilding wax kit in the 60-minute deals, if I remember rightly. Ash Cambo on Facebook says, love the stamping base with a platform. It's a game changer for me. Ash, it was for me too, because there are times when, and I've mentioned it before, but a little bit of arthritis in the hand, which I used to think was I used to think it was carpal tunnel. It isn't, it's arthritis, which made sometimes stamping to get the pressure down incredibly difficult. The stamping platform for me was a game changer for me. And when I have days like that, as you can see, I use the rocker block fine, but my hands are fine today. But yeah, stamping platform was a game changer for me as well, like I know for quite a lot of people. Just Elise says, thank you for answering the question. I like the way, but yeah, I like your way better. Yeah, there's absolutely, yeah. Sometimes you think that the stamp is, not quite right, and it's just the fact that it is literally the way that you prime a stamp. You prime that stamp, you only prime it once, you never need to prime it again. Cleaning your stamp is also a good one to do as well for you. And Lois says, the best explanation I've heard for the rocker blocks. Thank you, Debbie. You're very welcome, my lovely, because they are a fabulous tool. They were designed by Frank, our lovely Sarah's husband. So Sarah's husband? Simon, I do apologise. Sarah's dad, that would be it. Yes. I've not had enough coffee yet. I've not had enough coffee. Right, I think we're going to just have a little pause just for a second, because I'm going to move on to doing some other things, talking about inks and also masking. I know that was one that I'm going to do, and I'm going to get started with the masking when I get back, I think. So yes, come and join us. Get the questions coming in, keep them coming in. But we're just going to take a little short break. I'll see if I can get hold of that set as well for you. And we'll see you at the other side of this.
Missed your favourite crafters TV shows this week? Feel like you've missed out on the best crafting deals? Don't worry, we've got you covered. Join us for Second Chance Sunday, your ultimate catch-up on the top 10 deals, demos and must-see moments from the past week. From incredible discounts to inspiring crafting, this is your second chance to grab the best of the best. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Tune in to Second Chance Sunday, only on Crafters TV, because every crafter deserves a second chance.
Put that.
You do know this isn't a real door, don't you?
I love Crafters TV, not for their amazing products, but for other reasons. Firstly would be the community. Crafters TV brings everyone together from different corners of the world. It's a place where we can all share our love for Crafters companions, ideas, and get inspiration from each other. And inspiration comes from the demonstrators. It doesn't matter if you're experienced or new, the demonstrators will always explain and help, so we can get the best from the Crafters Companions' amazing products. But most important reason is the personal connection with the presenters and the demonstrators. For me, they have become my friend, creating a personal connection and making you feel part of a crafting family. And for me, this is the most meaningful. I wouldn't be the crafter I am today without Crafters TV, so thank you.
Who is making her debut for her very, very first craft along on Saturday? Yes, yours truly. So I've never ever been allowed to do craft alongs because everybody said go too fast. So I thought, I know what, why don't I make my craft along a colour along, right? And then I can't go fast because I've got to just take it at my own pace and it'll be lovely and relaxing. So on Saturday we're doing craft along, colour along, okay? Now I'm using the bookworm collection and I'm desperate to show you the technique that I talked about. If you saw me on HSN, when I launched this on HSN, I did say to everybody this was a brilliant technique, and it is showing people how to mask, right? So this stamp does not exist within the collection. It is actually an amalgamation of two stamps. So I'm going to show you how you can do that multi-layer stamping, and we're going to do it together. So you're going to need with you your Finesse alcohol proof ink pad. You're going to need the bookworm stamps, and then you're going to need some tri-blends. Now, any tri-blends that you've got, I'm going to be using the tri-blend brush because I find them a little bit easier to use. Actually, I'll do a mix of the brush and also of the tri-blend bullet. And if you've got the duo colours, you could use the duo colours as well. So you could, in any of our alcohol pens, we're going to do alcohol pen colouring. I'm going to show you that technique. We're going to learn the roundedness on his head. We're going to learn how to make it look like the light shining on certain parts of the book. We're going to learn where to put the shading, get them perfect styles of books. So I'm going to do all of this. And do you know what? Our Ben. And I thought, Ben loved his colouring when he did a colour along with Craig on Colour Me Happy a few weeks ago. So I'm going to get Ben doing the stamping and doing the colouring as well. So I promise it's going to be a wonderful craft along. I will see you for the early show of the day on Saturday. If you just want a little bit of Saturday relaxation, trust me, you need to tune in. This is going to be a brilliant show. The whole of Saturday is going to be phenomenal because we've got a fantastic Make It Saturday as well. So you want to be there or be square.
Hello and welcome back. Welcome back. Keep those questions coming in. We've managed to find a Gilding Flake stamp kit ready for, and I think it was Miss Effalump on YouTube. So we're going to try and get that one covered for you as well. One that I got asked earlier though about masking, and I love masking. Now masking is when you stamp an image, but you want some things going off in the background, and you want to layer up. But it can be quite difficult to layer up if you've got a solid stamp, and then how do you layer up without it interfering with the first image? So this is where masking comes into it. And masking tape is something that we now have in our crafty stash, which you guys probably have got in your crafty stash too, and it's invaluable when it comes to masking. In the old days, it used to be post-it notes or any bit of paper that you'd stamped onto. The difference with the masking tape is that it's a sticky residue, but it doesn't leave a residue behind, but it means that you can stamp on. Can you hear the tacky? So that's the tack. It's like a low tack, but enables you to stamp onto things. So with that in mind, I've just taken an old floral set that I've got, and I'm going to just ink up my my little stamp, and we'll get that started, and I'll simply show you how to use it with your masking tape. And again, let me grab my little tissue there for my excess ink that I can see. And then again, we'll start with, well, shall we start? Yeah, we'll go here. We'll just roughly do that. Now, literally, it is, again, that heel to toe motion, very quick, very easy. This is when you're going to bring your masking tape in. So we're going to take our masking tape. I usually just chop a little bit off with my scissors. And then what is it that you're wanting to stamp again? So I want to stamp, and I'll just move that out of the way. Just stick that down onto there. It doesn't matter about this being a really clear stamp. So if you miss an area, don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine because it's going onto the masking tape. So can you see just a bit faint there? It doesn't matter because all we're going to do is we are going to cut around with our scissors round that design. So literally just take your scissors and try and get as close as you can to the image, and this can be absolutely anything. I think Ben mentioned it earlier on the earlier show about those lovely cute dog stamp sets where you can build up your dogs and things like that. Any kind of stamp, anything that you want to create an image behind. Maybe it's a bit of script that you want to put behind there. This, all we're wanting to do is cover up that main image, and literally then we can do the stamping technique where we layer up lots and lots of, well, we can build it up and create a little bit of design to it. So all you need to do now trust me, Debbie finds a stamp that isn't symmetrical, but it doesn't matter because I just want to get that first piece down. Let's see if I can match that. In fact, Debbie, it'd be easier if you match the petal up. That's it, girl, that's it. And then just place that over the top of that image. That low tack sticks down there. Now then we're going to take that floral stamp again, and this is when you could use other stamps. I'm just going to, for quick and easy, just going to stick to the same stamp, but we'll literally take that now, and again this is when you can go over the area because that petal underneath is covered up. So let's go with a little bit more dimension. Let's build that up and just do that heel to toe motion again. Now at the minute you think, oh God, it looks really messy, but you don't have to worry because guess what? You've got it covered up. Now I've done a few of these and you can just peel that back and re-go, but I want to try and create some coming off this side, coming off here. So I'm going to cover up. Let's do that again. Let's find that petal. That'll be the easiest petal, I think, to follow. Yes. Stick to the one petal, Debbie. You'll be okay. Let's just get that down. There we go. Stick that down. So I've got two images covered up now because I'm going to come off. I want to get now behind this one and this one. So to do that, I need to cover up both. Masking tape is absolutely fabulous for this technique. And again, let's come in this way. Heel to toe, rock that. So I just missed a little bit there. Don't worry about it because we'll cover that up in a second. But when we'll do one down here as well. So let's get that covered, and I'll probably turn that around as well. So let's get that covered up, turn that around, bring that one down. And if I wanted to do some more, I could then take more florals and literally pop them over to build up so that you can create a really full pattern. Now then, Debbie, there it is. You did say you were going to just choose the one petal. And I've got another one here to come out this side as well. So let's do that one. And I think that is this side. So you can build up as many or as little as you want to create a full stamping technique. So let's just go in, add a little bit more. And now I know I'm safe, and I'm going to have flowers coming out all over. I mean, I'm going a bit excessive here to show you how to do that masking technique. However, it's a good way to show you how you can build up and create texture. And I will just say, usually, if I've done this masking technique, I don't throw these away. I put them onto the stamp set that I have, and that I then can reuse and reuse. So if I pull that back and peel all those off, let's just go in. I mean, I've got some already saved to one side, but that allows me to create a build up of your flowers where you've got your central one, but that's coming from behind, that's coming from behind, that's coming from behind, and it literally layers and layers up. And you can do that with your petals as well. So I've done that with the petals, and then when you take it into your card making, and in my card that I did for this one, I just did 3. and then coloured them in. And depending on what you're using, your inks colour-wise, I use the Finesse ink pad for alcohol proof. You can use your Finesse waterproof one if you're using anything water-based, but that's how you do your masking technique. And like I said, don't throw those away, just simply put them away with the stamp set. So pop the stamp set back onto there. Let's put that onto there, and then put all of those, because I can reuse all of those at a later date without having to keep using my masking tape. Although, to be fair, this is a lot of masking tape that you are getting on that roll. There's a lot on there, but it's a really cool technique to be able to get that image that goes behind the back, or you want to build up and layer up. And the same applied that I did with the petals, the leaves there. I did exactly the same. You just simply stamp, mask onto the masking tape, pop it over the initial one, which that was the initial one, and then put the other one so it looks like it's coming from behind. It's a really super cool technique, one that's really, really easy to do, and one that I hope you will have a go at doing yourself. I hope you're going to have a go at doing that one yourself. So let's have a little look, because I have still got a nice list. Who's still on? Let's have a little look. Michelle sent her daughter a set of rocker blocks. Michelle, you have to let us know how she got. Oh, she loves them. She loves them. I love that. Lois says the stamping platform is on a wish list. Julia Chiverton, my lovely VIP at the NEC quite recently. I love masking, and that was all I used my post-it notes back in the day. Exactly, Julia. The masking tape is brilliant, and I have to think of other things to do with the post-it notes. Any ideas? Write notes. I write notes to myself all the time, Julia. In fact, if you went into my house right now, you'd probably see a few on the kitchen cupboard, notes. There's one on the fridge, and it's probably been added to since my son, because my son's there, and he'll probably added lists on. I've got them in the room, little to-do lists. There's upstairs in the bedroom, to-do lists, all that kind of thing. That's what you're going to do with your post-it notes. Miss Heffalump says, what I've started to do when I get a new stamp set is get a mask of each stamp so I'm ready to play with straight away. Love that idea. That's a fabulous idea. And Ash Cambo on Facebook says, this masking technique is new to me. I hope, Ash, that we're going to give you a little insight into it. And do you feel that you could do that now, that masking technique? Honestly, it is beyond cool. I love that, and I love the way that you can add texture into things, and then you could do things like add your backgrounds, like your scripts into the background. So behind those flowers, I could have kept all the flowers where they were and then put script behind the back, and that's how you would build up your background pieces. So absolutely super cool. Question for Debbie, how do you perfect your stamping onto watercolour paper? Got some watercolour paper at the side of me. I think that's the watercolour. Now, I probably know why Carol's asked this, because this texture to watercolour paper. So this would be down to the right tool to use, and of course the right ink. So, and in fact, tell you what, we'll bring in, because we've not used this one. This is the new stamping platform, which has got the sticky base. And I'm just going to pop watercolour cardstock down onto there. Probably a little bit too big, but hey ho, it's okay. It's fine. Oh, now then, I've had loads of butterflies, but I've got a really cool big butterfly here, so let's put that one down. You can tell I like my butterfly stamps, can't you? I do like a butterfly stamp, I'm not going to lie. Now, watercolour cardstock is textured. To perfect your stamping, like I said, it could be down to the tools that you're using. Watercolour cardstock, and I'm basing that I would be using a watercolour medium on there, so I'm going to use my waterproof dye ink pad. Right, Debbie, lots of words there. And literally just stamp over that image, little short taps, little light taps, and of course you can do ombre effects, which we'll cover in a little while as well. We've got still another good 20 minutes left, so we'll be okay. But to get the image stamped onto your watercolour cardstock, it would be again down to that stamping platform that you're going to use. And if I lift that off, can you see there's like a little bit of texture here? It's just a case of giving a little bit more ink onto the top and re-inking, which is why I would suggest one of your platforms like the sticky back one or the magnetic one, just so that you can build up that image till you get the right effect, because it is textured. So to get the perfect way, I would probably suggest doing a couple of stamped images over it. With a rocker block, that's going to, and I'm not going to apologise for this, a rocker block is a fantastic stamping platform, but have you ever tried to line a stamp back up on it? it's going to be almost impossible to do. So a stamping platform, magnetic based or the sticky based one, will be the way forward for that, and it's just applying a secondary or a third ink to it, and again it's just that build up that it needs, because there's extra tooth. There's extra texture in there. It's like linen cardstock. You can still stamp onto linen cardstock. It's just that there's extra texture to it. So it just maybe need a build-up of ink going onto the top of that. So I hope that answered your question. And I think that question came from lovely Carol. So Carol, I hope that answered your question. Right, she has asked another question about best ink to stamp on an acetate. You need a permanent ink. And usually it's like VersaFine and things like that. That's a good one for there, which I think is oil-based, I think it is, if I got that right. But yeah, you need a permanent ink on there. You wouldn't be able to use anything. Oh, you could heat set it with an Harmony opaque ink pad and some clear embossing powder over the top of that. You could do that as well. But a permanent ink is the one that you're looking for on there, Carol. Right, I think I've covered most of that there. Right, let me just move to one side. Now, I did mention a couple of other cool techniques that I wanted to do. There's a kissing, or a stamp kissing technique. I'm going to show you that one as well. And also a little bit of a reverse mirror image stamping as well that I'd like to show you how to do that as well. So with that in mind, let me just bring in, I think let's do the kissing stamp technique. Now, I've got a couple of ink pads. I say a couple of ink pads. I've gone for a pigment one, nice juicy ink pad. And I've gone for a couple of colours. And please excuse me, there seems to be a bit of a theme coming on here. Apologies right now. I can't help myself. Let's just put it out there. I just can't help myself. It's just one of those things I like to do. I'll use this stamping platform again as well. So I'll just bring that back in and put my cardstock down. And I know that's not going to move anywhere. Now, a kissing stamp technique is when you've got two stamps and they kiss each other, okay? Now, I've chosen one that's got a script and one that's plain, okay, just to show you this kind of technique. And I went through Jake's boxes to have a little look to see what there was. Literally, what we're going to do is we're going to ink up this one first. We're going to ink up this one. We're then going to kiss them together, and then we're going to stamp with it. So I'm going to pop it onto my block for now. I'm just going to make sure, because it is a solid one, just make sure I've got it the right way around. There we go. Otherwise, that technique is going to end up looking rather weird. So let me just pop that down there, and I'm going to move that out of the way to start with. So the first ink I'm going to put down, I'm going to put this gorgeous lemon, and it's going to go all over. There's a nice cool technique as well called a swipe, in where you swipe over to create a bit of texture. If I get a chance, I'll just talk about that in a second. But there's lots of fabulous different techniques out there, and it literally is, and I think that is the right side of that stamp. Yes, it is. So that's the first layer of ink on that stamp. Now, I'm going to hold this with my hand, but you can use another block or another stamping platform, because I am wanting those two to kiss together, as in, yes? Okay, so I'm just going to put it down onto there for now, and I'm going to, in fact, let me just pop it down onto my glass mat. I'll just move that back, and I'll bring that back in a second. So I've used an orange ink. I thought the orange would look really nice over that yellow, but this is another like cool technique. So I'm just going to make sure, and it's a script one. Patterned ones over a plain one always look really cool, but you can mix and match lots of different ones. So the kissing motion, let's just get that back. So I'm going to kiss the two stamps together. So we're going to place that over the top, and I'm going to kiss and push that stamp down into the other one, okay? And when I lift off, you can see the script running through there. Okay, so you pop that down there now, and then we're going to bring this in, and then we're going to pop this down. And when you now put that down, the secondary ink that's on the top of there will show up over the top. So it's a lovely, another gorgeous technique that you can do, and that is how you kiss the two together. They're literally, so it means that nice solid stamp from the butterfly and it's gorgeous on its own. I mean, it is part of a layering stamp, but when you kiss it together with a pattern stamp, like the script that I've got there, they've kissed together, they've married up together, and then you've transferred it through onto your paper, onto your cardstock. It's honestly a super cool technique, one that I haven't done for such a long time. And do you know, I were only when I were flicking through thinking, oh, what kind of ideas, what kind of techniques can I show you guys that you've perhaps not seen for a while, or maybe you've never seen that before. Perhaps that's a revelation that our lovely Sam said in my ear. It's a revelation. He's never heard that technique before, but it's called, I call it kissing stamp technique, but I think the technical term is stamp kissing. So it's the two stamps that kiss together, that imprint onto each other, and then allow you to create that technique. And I hope you, because in fact, shall we go in close, Sam, so that you can see there? Can you get in close? Yeah, so you're going to zoom in so you can see there that script through that solid one. And I think that is such a cool one, and I hope that's something that you'll perhaps try with some of your stamps. You can do them with pattern stamps, so you can do with 2 heavily pattern stamps onto there. If you want to do that, you'll probably just get like, so if that was a butterfly that had got lots of detail in, it would have the detail, but it would also have the script running through it. So that's a really super cool technique that I hope you've enjoyed, because like I said, in fact, I don't even recall the last time I did it here. In fact, I'm trying to think, when did I, yeah, that's the thought, George. I might not have done it here. It might have been something that I've done at home or on when I was at, I think I did it, definitely did it at the old place we used to work, but yeah. But you can do that with any, like I said, any kind of stamps. So that was the stamp kissing technique. We'll do it the proper way, but it looks absolutely incredible. Oh, thank you, Carol. She says, thank you so very much, Debbie, greatly appreciated. I think that was the question to the 2 that we asked earlier. Janelle Watson Watchman on Facebook says, I am with you, Debbie. I love my butterflies. Thank you. I always feel, I mean, you only have to mention the word butterfly and I'm there like a shot. I absolutely love them. Miss Effalump on YouTube said, that weren't a kiss, it were a slap. It literally was. Did you hear it? I did go a little bit heavy-handed with it. You can use another stamping platform. So I could have taken this with it and then gone on the top of that stamp. So if you want to do that, you absolutely can, but hands is fine. Hands is fine. Love to Create on YouTube says, I love this technique. Thank you, lovely. I hope you're ever going to give it a go. Do you know, if you have a go at the kissing stamp technique or the stamp kissing technique, please do tag me in your makes. I'd love to see what you do with it, because obviously I'm not making anything today. I'm just showing you techniques that you can transfer into your crafting. Please do share that with me and tag me in there so I can see what you've done that. Oh, bless, Jan said, so much love's coming through for that technique and not seeing it before. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoy that technique, and it is something I do at home when I'm crafting, so I'm glad that I've been able to share that with. Carol Garwood Beard said, oh wow, she said, I've never seen that, that's brilliant. Diana Harrison said, I haven't seen the kissing technique before, it looks really good. It really is, it's a really super cool idea. See if I can say this right, Tominelli, Doreen Dore Pete on YouTube. This is a fab idea to mix the 2 stamps. Lynn Bledslaw on YouTube says, I've never seen this before. Wow. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. And Rhonda Crowley's Creations on YouTube. She says, I've been watching CCTV for 5 years and I have never seen this before. Rhonda, George has recognised your name. And thank you very much, because this is a lovely technique and something that I thought would be a really nice idea to bring to you on this one. Right, so that was that technique. So I've kissed that technique off. I've been round Ben too much, I've been round Ben too much. Do you want to see the reverse mirror image technique? Which is normally what you can do when you've got like a jelly plate and things like that. But you can do it with a tool that you may already have. Silicone mat. Because it acts as a little bit of a stamping mat as well. So I'm just going to hope it's nice and clean though, because I know our stamping silicone mats, they end up with all sorts over them, and sometimes that can transfer if you've got like glitter paste stuck on there and you've not washed it down. But this is another cool technique. So let's grab, now then, what did I do with my little, there it is. One that I have done this technique before, so some of you may have seen this before, but it is literally, and I'm going to, dirty stamp hasn't been cleaned, it's got all sorts on it. Let's have a little look now. Stamping platform, I think we'll use, yeah, I'll use this one again since I've got this to hand. And legs up, stamp down, and I'm going to now just apply a bit of ink onto here. So we'll come in and we'll add our ink, and I'll grab a big piece of cardstock for this one. I think I've got one there at the side of me. You can swipe across with your ink pad, but you can also, like I said, little short taps. That's the word I was looking for, taps, where you can go down on, and just wanted to make sure I cover all of that. Now then, didn't cut that, there we go, let's just do that. So pop that down. So I'm going to pop that down, and we're going to put our first image down onto here. So if I've got my paper in the right place, this will work. So Debbie, move that along there. There we go. So let's, yeah, I'll just move that down. Let me just make sure that's stuck down. Please excuse the inky fingers. My hands are incredibly dirty. And then I'm just going to stamp that first image down. And I'm hoping that that's covered all of that. Yes, it did. Yeah, perfect. Right, beautiful image, beautiful stamp. But what I want to do is reflect on the other side. So I'm going to move that out of the way now. And I'm just going to make sure that that is nice and covered up. So I'm going to do this again. Nice, a lot of ink actually, just try and get quite a nice bit of ink down for this one, because we want to transfer that onto the cardstock. But how do you get that image to meet here? Because that's where I'm going with. But how would you do that? Well, this is when your little silicone mat comes into a great effect. So if you've got a silicone mat, then absolutely, I'm just going to make sure, because I can't remember if I covered it all. Going to stamp down onto the mat. So let's come down onto that mat. I'm just going to make sure I've got it all covered. Yeah. And then I'm going to place my cardstock onto, and hopefully you'll get the idea. They might be kissing. They could be kissing. You could use a brayer over this, so you could pop a brayer down. I'm just going to try and get a nice contact, because what I want to do is transfer that ink onto the cardstock, and you've got your mirror image. Now, depending on where you put her and place her, they look like two girls chin wagging together, having a little talk, and it's super cool. So again, you just pop that's all you're going to do, and that's exactly how you would do that. And don't worry about this will come up, just take your cleaning solution, but that allows you then to create that mirror image that you wouldn't normally get from the one step. So it's a really another cool lovely idea on how to use it to create a mirror image using tools that you have at home, which are in fact silicone mats. Remind me, I need to clean that up, George, because I'll forget. And then people will be wondering what the heck we're doing. Right, so I'm going to have a little nosy one more time at the comments and see what you guys are... oh my goodness, there's more coming in. Jen Shank, all my years of crafting, never seen the kissing stamp. So cool, thank you, Debbie. I'm telling you, if you've done that stamp kissing, please do tag me in it. I want to see your makes. I want to see what you've created with yours. Laquita Gibson on YouTube, I heard both of the kissing. Wait a minute, I heard both the kissing and the mirror technique, but I've never seen these being demonstrated. Appreciate Debbie taking the time to show them today. You're very welcome, thank you very much. Pat, sorry, oh my goodness, I will get this working. Sorry, my phone has decided to play up right at the end of the show. Pat Taichin Demaris says, Debbie, I'm learning a lot today. Thank you, lovely. And she's also asked, I've just missed something. What kind of ink is Debbie using for the mirror technique? I used the waterproof dye ink. I think you can do it with the alcohol proof one as well. I tend to use that one because it's more of a permanent one for myself, so I prefer that one. Lois says, wow, thanks for showing this technique. And Mimi George on Facebook says, Debbie, you are such a great teacher. I love your clear instructions. The mirror image is amazing. Thank you so much, guys. I know that I haven't, and you know what, we did have more. And I'll tell you what I'll get for you later on. I'll see if Lily can do that technique for you tomorrow when she's on. I did have lots more planned, but obviously this is just an hour-long show. Thank you so much to absolutely everyone that have joined us and sent in the questions. I hope I've given you some insight into how to use the things that you have, like the rocker blocks, like your stamping platforms and your stamping mats, and things like your use of your silicone mat to do the reversed image, and also the one that I think has blown everyone away today, and I never thought it would do, just by a simple bit of kissing, and me not physically kissing, but giving you all a big kiss for watching, but thank you for all the lovely love about the kissing stamping technique, or the stamp kissing technique. So I'm so pleased that you've enjoyed. Oh, and masking, we did a bit of masking as well. And priming, George, I forgot the priming as well. So I hope that I've given you a little insight into it. I'm not going to lie, I'm really enjoying these Craft Your Stash shows. Really enjoying them, and we've got more lined up for you this week as well, and you'll get an insight into other people's them passing on their information, like our lovely Lily's here tomorrow, so she'll be able to pass on her information to you, or what she does and other ideas that she might have. So thank you so much. Thank you to my lovely George and Sam for keeping me in check. Thank you to lovely Jan for all the lovely comments that she sent through as well, and thank you to you guys for watching us here at Crafters TV. I'm away to go and get me dinner. I know it's a bit late, but we've been a little bit busy this morning and this afternoon, so I'm going to go and get me dinner. But I'll see you all later on, because we're back at 5 o'clock here in the UK for Beautiful Beginnings, and I might even get Ben crafting as well. So we'll see you all there. Thank you all very much. I'm Debby Robinson. See you all soon.